Hello students, welcome back. Don Bosco PU College, Chitradurga, first PUC Biology Bridge course. In the previous class, we discussed the chapters in human physiology. One is digestion and absorption. In that, how the food is able to break down. Second, exchange, breathing and exchange of gases. How the carbon dioxide and oxygen able to exchange, how the oxygen able to break down the glucose molecule to produce the energy. The third chapter called as a body fluids and circulation. The body fluids like a blood and lymph, how they are able to circulate through blood vessels with the help of pumping organ called as a heart. So in the previous class also we discussed the one chapter called as a nitrogenous waste and their elimination. Nitrogenous waste or excretory products like ammonia, urea, uric acid, creatinine, hippuric acid, etc. The process in which removal of nitrogenous waste from body to outside is called as a excretion. So in this chapter the study in this chapter we are going to study the contents like types of animal, different types of excretory organs in animals, human excretory system, and structure of human excretory system, structure of nephron, formation of urine, regulation of kidney function, micturition, role of other organs in excretion, disorders of excretory system, as well as a mechanism of concentration of urine. In the previous class, we studied the excretory system, structure of nephron, as well as different types of animals. Now we are going to study the formation of urine, regulation of kidney function, mechanism of concentration of urine, micturition, role of other organs in excretion, then disorders of excretory system. Okay. So when come to the formation of urine, the urine formation is taken place in 3 steps. One is called as ultrafiltration or glomerular filtration. Second one is called as tubular reabsorption. Third one is called as a tubular secretion. So when come to the formation of urine, in the nephron, the cup-shaped structure called as a Bowman's capsule. Inside the Bowman capsule, there is a presence of a network of blood capillaries called as a glomerulus. Glomerulus is the site for ultrafiltration. Second, the coiled tube-like structure called as a proximal convoluted tubule. This is a site for tubular reabsorption. Then the capital U letter shaped structure called as a loop of Henle is a site for mechanism of concentration of urine. Then a coiled tube-like structure called as a distal convoluted tubule, it is a site for tubular secretion. Okay. So what the U-shaped structure called as a loop of Henle, along with loop of Henle there is a vasa recta, both are helpful for a mechanism of concentration of urine. When come to the formation of urine process, ammonia is an important nitrogenous waste product of protein metabolism. Ammonia is converted into urea in the liver. The plasma of the blood transport urea from the liver to the kidney for elimination. Urea is eliminated in the form of urine. The formation of urine takes place in the nephrons of kidney. So it involves 3 physiological processes such as ultrafiltration, tubular reabsorption, tubular secretion. When come to the ultrafiltration or glomerular filtration, it involves the filtration of blood plasma under the high pressure created in the glomerulus as the blood flow from the afferent to efferent arteriole. Thus, the pressure exerted in the glomerulus is called as a glomerular hydrostatic pressure. So in the glomerulus, due to the pressure is exerted, such pressure is able to filter the urea from the blood. One is glomerular hydrostatic pressure. This pressure is created by glomerulus. It is about 70 mmHg. Next, blood colloidal osmotic pressure, BCOP. This blood colloidal osmotic pressure is created by blood. It is about 30 mmHg. Then next is called as a capsular hydrostatic pressure. This pressure is created by a Bowman's capsule. It is about the 20 mmHg. The difference of all these pressure is called effective filtration pressure, EFP, and it is about the 20 mmHg. That is 70 minus 30 minus 20 is equal to 20 mmHg. So these are the pressure in the glomerulus exerted to filter the urea from the blood. When the blood enters into the glomerulus, both essential and non-essential materials are filtered along with a large amount of water through the minute pore present in the glomerulus under high pressure. The epithelial cells of Bowman capsules, called as a podocytes, absorb the water, glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, minerals, nitrogenous waste like urea, ammonia, ions like sodium, magnesium, calcium. Finally, the formation of filtrate is called as a primary urine or glomerular filtrate. So the ultrafiltration is a non-selective process. Non-selective process. So second step called as a tubular reabsorption. The primary urine or glomerular filtrate from the Bowman's capsule flows into the proximal convoluted tubule. The essential materials like water, glucose, amino acids, vitamins are reabsorbed by the brush border cells of proximal convoluted tubule and secreted into the blood flowing in the peritubular capillaries. Hence, the tubular reabsorption is selective process. It absorbs the selective materials. The tubular reabsorption removes the essential substances from the filtrate back into the blood. The reabsorption process takes place both by active and passive transport mechanism. Active and passive transport mechanism. Then, as the urine flows down in the descending limb of the loop of Henle, it is concentrated by losing water. As it flows in the ascending limb, then the urine is diluted by losing salts. This adjustment in concentrating urine is called countercurrent multiplier system. Concentration of urine is controlled by antidiuretic hormone called as ADH or vasopressin. The ADH hormone is secreted by hypothalamus of the brain, stored in the hypothalamus of the brain. ADH hormone results in the formation of dilute urine is called diuresis. This condition is called as diabetes insipidus. The difference between the diabetes insipidus and diabetes mellitus is the diabetes mellitus is a disorder of carbohydrate metabolism and the diabetes insipidus is a disorder of excretion. Diabetes mellitus is a hyposecretion of insulin, but the diabetes insipidus is a hyposecretion of ADH. In the diabetes mellitus, it results in the accumulation of glucose in the blood called hyperglycemia. The diabetes insipidus is a formation of dilute urine is called as a diuresis. The hypersecretion of ADH results in the formation of the concentration of urine called as antidiuresis. Next, after the tubular reabsorption, thus absorption of selective materials, next the tubular secretion. This process is taken place in the distal convoluted tubule. It adds non-essential materials from the blood to the filtrate. As the filtrate passes through the tubules, distal convoluted tubules, the cells of the tubule secrete the additional waste into the filtrate. These secreted waste are potassium, hydrogen, ammonium ions as well as creatinine and other waste materials. Thus, the tubular secretion eliminate the certain unwanted materials and control the pH of the blood and salt balance. The pH of the blood is 7.3 to 7.4. To maintain the normal pH of blood, the cells of distal connective tubule secrete the hydrogen ions into filtrate. As a result, urine become acidic in nature. Acidic in nature. In this way, the urine is forms. Urine is formed. Next, the composition of the urine is the nature and the composition of urine is the urine is an amber colored or straw yellow colored liquid with the characteristics of odor. The color is due to the presence of a pigment called as a urochrome derived from the metabolism of bile. Urine is composed of 95% of water, 2.5% of urea, 2.5% of other substances like sodium chloride, sulfate, phosphate, and sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium ions, creatinine, water, soluble vitamins, etc. Then, next, the functions of the tubules. The proximal connected tubule composed by cuboidal epithelial tissue, it increases the surface area for reabsorption. Then, the loop of Henle reabsorption in this segment is minimum, so that this region plays significant role in maintenance of high osmolarity of medullary interstitial fluid. It mainly helpful in the concentration of urine mechanism process. Then third, distal connected tubule. Conditional reabsorption of sodium and water take place in this segment to capable of reabsorption of bicarbonates, hydrogen, potassium ions, ammonium ions to maintain the sodium potassium balance in the blood. Lastly, collecting duct. This collecting duct extends from cortex of the kidney to the inner parts of the medulla. Large amount of water could be reabsorbed from the regions to produce a concentrated urine here only. Here only. So these are the functions of the tubule. When come to the mechanism of concentration of urine. So the mammals have ability to produce the concentrated urine. Loop of Henle and vasa recta both play a significant role in concentration of urine. The flow of filtrate, that is urine, in the two limbs of loop of Henle is in the opposite direction. Thus, the form a counter current. The flow of blood through the two limbs of vasa recta is also a counter current pattern. This counter current pattern helps in the maintaining and increasing the osmolarity towards the inner medullary region. So what happens? The osmolarity, there is a osmolarity, 300 millimole osmolarity in the cortex, about 1200 millimole osmolarity in the inner medulla. This difference is helpful to the caused by sodium and urea as a gradient process. Sodium chloride is transported by ascending limb of a loop of Henle, which is exchanged with the descending limb of vasa recta. Likewise, the sodium chloride is returned to the interstitium by the ascending portion of the vasa recta. Similarly, small amount of urea enter the thin segment of ascending limb of Henle's loop, which is transported back to the interstitium by the collecting tubule. This transportation of substances facilitated by special arrangement of loop of Henle and vasa recta is called as a counter current mechanism. Such mechanism helps to maintain the concentration gradient in the concentration of urine. Okay, the human kidney can produce urine nearly 4 times concentrated than the initial filtrate form. So apart from this one, next is the a regulation of kidney function. Regulation of kidney function. The kidney functions are regulated by three way. One is regulation by ADA, that means nothing but the a antidiuretic hormone. Next by GJA, juxtaglomerular apparatus. Next ANF, atrial natriuretic factor. When come to the first one, how the ADH hormone regulate the kidney function. So the ADH hormone or vasopressin, this hormone able to facilitate the active reabsorption of water from the proximal coronary tubule and prevent the diuresis. In this manner, it able to regulate the a kidney function. Next, juxtaglomerulus apparatus. Juxtaglomerulus apparatus, which means the afferent arteriole is sensitive. The sensitive gap between afferent arteriole and distal coronary tubule is called as a juxtaglomerulus apparatus. This juxtaglomerulus apparatus able to regulate the kidney function. So the juxtaglomerulus apparatus able to release the one hormone called as renin. This renin able to control the kidney function. Next, ANF, regulation by atrial natriuretic factor. This factor is present in the kidney heart region. This is able to cause the dilation, vasodilation. This is nothing but the expanding of the arterioles. Okay. Here what happens? Glomerular filtration rate. One thing I left. Glomerular filtration rate. The glomerulus, it able to filter the urea from the blood. It is about the 125 ml per minute. It able to filter. This is called the glomerular filtration rate. Next is called as a micturition. Micturition. The expulsion of urine from the urinary bladder. It is a reflex process but can be controlled by voluntarily to the some extent in the grown up children as well as a adult. So here the central nervous system sends the signal which causes the stretching of the urinary bladder when it gets filled with the urine. So the presence of glucose is called as a glycosuria and the presence of ketone bodies in the urine is called as a ketonuria. Okay, the glycosuria and ketonuria both are the indication of diabetes mellitus. Then the role of other organs in excretion. Apart from the kidney, there are some other organs perform the excretion like lungs, liver, skin, which helps in the elimination of excretory waste. Okay. Then the disorders of excretory system. The disorders of excretory system. Uremia, the accumulation of urea in the blood due to the malfunctioning of kidney is called as a uremia. This can be treated by hemodialysis, removal of urea from the blood artificially. Then second, the renal calculi, the formation of insoluble mass of crystallized salts. The crystallized salts like oxalates or phosphates or calcium. There is a deposition of some salts to become a stones called a kidney stones or renal calculi. Finally, the glomerulonephritis, inflammation of glomerulus of kidney. The glomerulus of kidney become swell. So these are the major disorders of kidney. Okay. So hemodialysis is one of the treatment process to the uremia. It acts as an artificial kidney to remove the nitrogenous waste artificially outside the body apart from the kidney. So this is about the excretory system of human beings. Okay. In detail we are going to study it in regular classes. So this is about the nitrogenous waste and their eliminate. Why the nitrogenous waste are eliminate in our body? What happen if they are remains in our body? The nitrogenous waste, if they are remain in our body, these are become toxic, so that our body able to remove such type of nitrogenous waste with the help of excretory organs like a kidney. In that, nephron, the structural and functional unit of kidney called as a nephron. Thank you.